Hey fam. So I just wanted to come on here really quick today. Yesterday after filming, it came into my awareness a few instances of knowing people who are no longer with us on this planet because of this disease. So yeah, the statistics I don't know factually, but I've heard like 90% of addicts and alcoholics don't end up making it. And I'm gonna keep it 100, just always. It's the only thing I know how to do these days. So yeah, when I went in rehab, there are probably more than this, but three that are just up in my awareness that I just want to discuss today are these three women that I was living in the rehabilitation facility, and I know for a fact that they have passed. So the first one, and I want to keep the names like very I want to keep everything anonymous to just respect. So we're not going to use her real name. We'll call her Rose. I actually got into a little, heated argument with this person. She was influencing my roommate in what I at the time saw was just, not up to my standards, but judgment is at the forefront when you are newly sober and you're trying to function in a public place without any of your tools that you're used to, like the drugs and alcohol, to try to numb all those voices out. So yeah, oftentimes I was like Captain Sabaho up in rehab. I do have abilities. I do have a strong intuitive guidance that navigates me into the future. I can kind of see and play out things. I've always had this ability. But yeah, basically just like I had some problems with this girl Rose, but I had the wherewithal to turn to some experience guidance. And upon my journey of getting sober and being a new mom, this became my regular thing, that I would seek out counsel oftentimes when faced with indecision. So instead of like my first time in rehab, just fighting and having the PAs get involved once it's escalated, I just thought I should just go straight to the director, tell her that, I want to call out this girl, I got a problem with her. And she sat me down and kind of calmed me down and was like, Danielle, you've been doing some work on yourself. This is your second time in rehabilitation, right? You had over a year of sobriety the last time. So you've been doing some work on yourself. What is it about her that rubs you the wrong way so intensely? Is it something that she doesn't have or something that she has? And right there, a light bulb went on. And I was like, I think I'm jealous of her. I see how she moves in this facility, how like everybody loves her. She's such a people person. She's always happy. Everybody just like is constantly like grappling for her attention, and she's just like Miss Popular around here. I want that. Like, I need that, and that's why I'm having these problems. Like something that's just like so unfamiliar to me, but like I really freaking want, and that's what I'm dealing with here. So I was really glad that I went to the director first, because instead of coming at this girl with just pure aggression, I came at her like being 1,000% real. Like, I had to be shown where I wasn't being honest, like, all the time. And I took Rose aside and I was just like, yo, like, I'm so sorry. I think I'm just envious of how much people like you in here, and you like have a lot of qualities that I wish I had. And so there was a mutual respect, because of that honesty, right? That amends that took place. She had a lot of personal issues. I don't even want to get into maybe why, but I heard that she ended up going back to jail and ended up hanging herself in jail. I'm really happy that my last words to her weren't hateful. Just my heart goes out. 'Cause this disease, man, I've heard from a lot of people. Now, this isn't like a suicide awareness video, because I don't have too much experience with that, but I do know what I've heard from my close fellows who are in the program, like, being so close to offing themselves so many times. We have 100 different forms of fear. And what do we do when the substances don't cure that anymore? Is life even worth living with all of this shit going on in our emotions, in our brains? So, R.I.P. Rose. The second person that I want to talk about, she was my roommate in rehab, and she was a great mom. She talked to me about, like gave me like tips on being a mom. And, the things that she would say about how she's raising her son, it was admirable. And so she completed the program, she left, and she even came back and she spoke with all of us. And gave her testimony of just like living life outside, being sober, recovering strong, taking what she learned in rehab and applying it to real life. And then a few months later, I'm not exactly 1,000% on the timeline, but I heard that she went back out to her drug of choice and overdosed. R.I.P. This third one that I'm going to talk about, us younger girls in the rehab facility would call her Mama. She was, man, she helped me out so many times. Like, so many times. I would come to her with, and I just feel like every morning I wake up and just I'm being attacked. You know, that's what it feels like when you're detoxing and getting sober and trying to live in a public facility and rehabilitation center. I was just like, Mama, like, I feel like 1,000 arrows are coming at me, you know, in the group this morning. And she just always come with like a humorous, comforting answer. And she knew how to look you in the eye, man. She was a real one. Her alcoholism. We had heard that she went back out and she was drinking and driving. She was really close with that girl, Rose. So her death really, like, the grief just took her down with it. She ended up dying, I think, from a car accident. Mama. This disease, without a solution, it's hard, man, and it kills, y'all. And by the grace of God, there go I, because I've relapsed. I went back out so many times. I had my near-death experiences. You know, why am I still here and they're not? You know, my auntie one time at this meeting was like announcing to everyone in the room, and these are fellows that are in there from a rehabilitation center, you know, their whole van, and they come through. And she's like, 90% of you are not going to be alive by this time next year. Maybe, you know, the timeline right, but everybody was so offended that she would even say such negative things in the rooms. But bruh, like, it's real. I've seen it. I've lived through so many of my peers going back out and never seeing them again. There's some that are on the streets that are in their addiction and that are withering away. There's some that are doing good. One girl that I got in a physical altercation with, man, like, we have a bond like this because we went through something real, something called recovery. We were sober and we were together in a small house. Conflicts, resolution, we went through it together, man. So now when I see those girls, like, big ups, man. And even my druggies on the side, man, like, hey sis, how you? The ones that aren't with us anymore. This is a life or death situation. It's nothing to be played with. And I'm here to testify about it. I love you. I don't want this disease to win anymore. I'm done with it. Are you done with it?